When Arium was scarcely inhabited, it was a dark world. Demons and dark evils residing in the depths of Arium kept most others in hiding.
Hello everyone, welcome to ONEUP Cartel TV. My name is Shoimi, and in today's episode we are going to be talking about Crypto Raiders! So what is Crypto Raiders and how do you get started? Let's dive right into it. Crypto Raiders is a pixel art RPG dungeon crawler built on the Polygon Matic sidechain for Ethereum. You can enter dungeons, kill bad dudes, find sweet loot, get some new gear, tackle harder dungeons, then there comes some question marks, and then profit. The thing gets interesting at the question mark part, as that's when the most dungeon crawlers try to put their own stamp on the genre. Crypto Raiders distinguishes itself from its peers by allowing players to participate in both sides of the dungeon crawler experience. More active players can use raiders to collect loot from dungeons, but anyone looking for passive gains can also acquire mobs, which serve as the enemies for raiders in dungeons. If your mob defeats another player's raider, you will earn loot based on the value and equipment of that raider. This changes the dynamic by introducing an alternative way to participate in the loot generation process. Players aren't just farming dungeons, they are farming each other, and to the victor go the spoils. Crypto Raiders has also formed a partnership with Galaxy Fight Club that allows players to use their raiders in their PvP NFT arena and gain access to the Genesis Gear whitelist. This is the first of many potential partnerships with an overall goal of further integrating Crypto Raiders within the Polygon ecosystem. What are the tokens of Crypto Raiders? We have Aurum, Latin for gold, and that serves as the primary in-game currency with a variable supply that can be increased or decreased to maintain a balanced game economy. It will be earned by completing dungeons or quests and used to pay for activities such as running certain dungeons and recruiting new raiders. Activity prices can also be adjusted to maintain practical price points players can reasonably afford. Aurum will be the default currency for the Crypto Raiders marketplace when it launches. Raider is a fixed supply token intended to provide staking opportunities based on how long, 3 to 12 months, players are willing to stake it for. Players will earn a share of all Aurum spent in the game through daily payouts based on their in-game activity. Staked Raider will also provide access to future governance, unique dungeons, gears and releases, and airdrops. 50% of the original pool will be reserved for incentivizing the staking of various sushi liquidity pools. This reserve will be split evenly between all pools and distributed over the course of 4 years at a rate of 17,123 Raider per day. Players will receive Raider proportional to their contribution relative to the total size of the pool. Let's have a look at the different NFTs. We have raiders, mobs, and mounts. Raiders begin as a blank character slates with visual skin, human, elf, etc. determined by their rarity. This rarity has no impact on the raider's effectiveness other than increasing its value due to scarcity. Gear acquired through play changes the visual look for each raider, allowing for unique character appearances. After you have your first raider, it can recruit another raider of the next generation. For example, Generation 2 can recruit Generation 3. Every 28 days this is possible. By spending Aurum, 10% per generation, to temporarily stake your raiders, you will receive a new raider with a random rarity influenced by the gear and level of the recruiting raider. Each subsequent recruitment from the same raider will yield later generations until the current maximum of Gen 10, for example. A Gen 4 raider will only be able to recruit 6 additional raiders from Gen 5 to Gen 10 with a 28-day cooldown between each. Mobs come in 13 types with 7 rarities and 33 possible special moves. While they currently have no function in the game, They will eventually serve as enemies in certain dungeons for raiders belonging to other players. When your mob defeats a raider, you'll receive aurum and a portion of the defeated raider's loot. Bestiary has been provided for keeping track of what's available. Mounts come in 5 types and are used by raiders to speed up travel times between cities, locations, and quests. Future potential features include jousting, races, and horse breeding. After the initial airdrop, they can only be acquired through in-game events and activities. The cartel began with a working budget of $300 and a goal of acquiring the cheapest raider on the market. We would then use aurum to reset it, as it had a terrible stats balance. A raider's stats affect its chances of completing raids, and you can reset them by spending aurum. But technical problems prevented us from buying the chosen raider. Instead, we looked at more expensive options and found a level 7 raider with 42 points piled into intelligence, which is exactly where we would have put it. And a really nice gear from previous raids. We ended up paying 0.08 ETH for this catch at only 33% more than our initial budget. We proudly present 30 Bash. With his best gear and current stats, the raid simulator shows we have a 95% chance of completing normal Guardian's Lair and a 60% chance for Heroic. We've definitely got a good raider, as these are currently the 2 hardest dungeons with the best loot. Our cartel operator, Revised Sociology, took Bash for a spin and is delighted to report a 100% success rate. We found okay gear but nothing useful to our particular intelligence build. Our second week of raiding had disappointing luck in terms of loot gained, and our operator had to navigate the congestion of Polygon caused by bots abusing the Sunflower game until it was disabled. Bash was again able to successfully complete normal Guardian's Lair for 700 XP, but was rewarded with more useless gear. Worse, Bash ventured into the heroic version where he was pummeled for no loot and reduced 200 XP. Our total haul was another 2100 XP and a mag gear. Sending raiders on quests is now possible and behaves like short-term staking. Your raider is removed from your wallet temporarily for a duration of your choosing. They will earn a certain amount of a given token in cycles. In the case of the first quest, you earn 1 Grim Bead for every 8 hours of questing. Your raider can't enter dungeons while they are questing, as they are staked. After returning, the raider enters a cooldown period where they need to rest for 1/7 of the amount of time they were questing for. In other words, a raider sent out for 7 days would need roughly a day before they were ready to raid dungeons. Given you receive 5 free raids a week that resets every Wednesday, the efficient format would be to quickly finish raids before questing for 5 to 6 days. This would allow enough time for your raider to rest before needing to raid again the following week after the reset. The cartel account is currently sitting on an unrealized gain of about $390 after just 2 weeks of owning the account, with enough aurum to recruit our second raider. While we don't yet know the value of our extra loot, we will also have those to trade once the feature is released. With multiple roadmaps and frequent updates, it's getting hard to keep track of all the fun and exciting things Crypto Raiders has in store of us. We know small things like team raiding and the continuation of duels tournaments are on the way. Larger announcements like the search for new hires and requests for information from developers wishing to build modular content on top of Crypto Raiders API indicate an ongoing effort to expand gameplay. Long-term goals still include adding permadeath as an optional risk players can expose their raiders to for the chance at improved rewards, implementing aurum rewards and mobs for dungeons, and adding skill trees for raiders. A new unknown game mode is also slated for January 19th, but the date is tentative pending any potential delays. How does someone get started in Crypto Raiders? The initial step of getting into Crypto Raiders can be a bit of a doozy, so we recommend reviewing the starter guide before beginning the process. The steps involve acquiring a MetaMask wallet, wrapping Ethereum for use on the Polygon network as WETH, swapping for enough Matic to cover gas fees, and then buying your raiders, mobs from OpenSea. When looking at raiders, it's important to note that earlier generations have built-in value in the form of increased Aurum drop rates, still in the works, and recruiting discounts, different each time, for future raider generations. If you only purchase the mob, sit tight for now, as their intended use hasn't been implemented yet. For those that have raiders, let's walk through how exactly you play Crypto Raiders. The central game cycle involves exactly what you expect, sending your raider on dungeon raids to kill mobs in order to obtain more and hopefully better loot. The more raiders you have, the more raids you can do, overall yielding more usable loot on average. It's especially useful to diversify the builds of your raiders by giving them different stat weightings in order to increase the number of items that are useful to you. Each raider has 6 stats to choose from: Strength, Intelligence, Agility, Wisdom, Charm, and Luck. Each of these stats has different benefits. How you allocate your stats determines which weapons you'll benefit most from and what gear you are hoping to acquire. Patches are rolling out frequently enough that it's strongly recommended you venture over the Crypto Raiders Discord to keep up on the latest changes and most effective builds. This includes things like which skill runes to use and when to use them in battle. There are also multiple community tools such as Crypto Raiders Companion, extension found in the community projects section of the Crypto Raiders Discord. When play to earn. While Aurum isn't yet rewarded for completing dungeons and the in-game marketplace is pending, both will provide the first source of active earning available to beginning players. Once you can obtain Aurum through dungeons, recruiting new raiders will steadily expand the core value of your investment by providing you with new raiders you can either sell or begin building up for increased loot acquisition. The weekly free raids are per raider, and eventually team raids, and possibly guilds, will be implemented for additional interactions between raiders. As such, acquiring a decent team of raiders seems like a worthy goal for any new player. Additionally, duels have arisen as a competitive mode raiders can participate in. You can either submit your raider to a passive pool of those pulled up in duels, or seek out random raiders for the pool to duel. There have also been periodic tournaments that pop up with decently large prize pools for those skilled enough to win out. Previous prices have ranged from 1,000 to 5,000 Aurum for top spots and access to the Duels Alpha Invitational when it's gearing up for another round. Raider can be staked directly to earn periodic Aurum payouts and qualify for future airdrops. Mobs and mounts are 2 strong examples of airdrops that have already provided significant returns to those lucky enough to receive the rarer versions. Keep in mind that your returns are based on the lookout duration you choose, which ranges from 3 to 12 months and 100% to 400% reward rate. This currently puts the Raider APR at 3.97 to 15.89%. Sushi liquidity pool tokens represent a less binding form of staking in that you put a specific combination of tokens into a sushi liquidity pool to earn the tokens you will stake into Crypto Raiders. No matter which combination you choose, the payout is returned as Raider daily and you can freely withdraw your stake. With all the information we've just thrown at you, don't be alarmed if you need time for it to settle. The Crypto Raiders Discord is a great place to absorb the finer details of raiding, and you can reach out to them on Twitter. So what is the cartel's game plan? We have now a second raider, and Revised Sociology will continue to run Bash through raids in order to keep pace with the moving level cap and source gear of our fledgling hero. He'll also watch out for opportunities to trade extra loot when that comes online, while preparing for dueling, further recruiting and adapting to the rapidly evolving complexity of the raider economy. If you want to know more about Crypto Raiders, make sure to check out the posts by Revised Sociology, our operator. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye!